Alrighty folks, we're going to start this video just a little different than we have started videos in the past. I'm going to start off just showing you a few things here we're doing. I bought a Harbor Freight auger and with a 6-inch bit, and we're drilling holes to put in a new ground deck for the wife's / the boss's greenhouse that we're putting together. And I'm attacking this a little differently, and I'll probably explain it more in my audio part of this. This is my voiceover part. But we ended up putting one post in the corner, in the far right corner of your screen, leveled up my board, got another board over there near where I'm at, where I screwed it on there to help support it so it's level. And I'm drilling holes and then seeing where I gotta get my, what I gotta do to get my 4x4 in there nice and level. And we'll get those in there. And once I'm satisfied with them, I'll level it, check everything out, and then I'll put screws into the boards to make sure it stays in place. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever used this stuff called Fast 2K. It's a 2-part like epoxy mixture type stuff. It's a closed cell foam that you can actually pour into the holes, and you mix it back and forth vigorously for about 30 seconds or so. And then once you get it mixed up vigorously, like you see me doing here, you end up just pouring it into the hole. This one has some leaky stuff on it, so I had to wipe my hands off. But you pour it in the hole, and it sets up in 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the temperature. My experience in colder temperatures, it doesn't set up quite as fast, but it does set up. And it's crazy because when you pour it in the hole, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot there. Then all of a sudden, it just starts coming up and filling up the hole. As you can see in that far corner back there, you can see the foam already sticking up out of the hole. Now I'm going to the other corner, and we're drilling an auger hole there. And I run through, it's kind of interesting when you're drilling holes like this, is you run through the different layers. You got the topsoil, then you run into some clay and some different things. And as long as you don't hit any big tree roots and stuff, it actually does a pretty good job. Here again, I'm leveling it up, and I dropped my tape measure in the hole, so I had to reach down there and get that. But once we get everything where we like it, oops, I must not have liked what I had there. Yep, what am I doing? Oh, gotta auger it out a little bit. There we go. Now it's back in position where I want it. Get some dirt out of my shoes, put the post back in the ground, screw it back on there. Happy with the squareness of it, happy with the level of it. And now, watch this. I'm gonna pour this stuff in the hole. We're doing the second board down the other side. These are 2x10s, 20 feet long. And I'm laying out there. Oh, I take that back. I decided I wanted to cut those off. So the nice thing about cutting those off, I'm able to use those boards in the other holes. So I get more bang for my buck out of my 4x4 8-foot long pieces. Now check this out. I'm getting ready to pour some stuff down the hole here and shaking it up real good, getting it mixed up real good, pour it in there, and then I'll get the time lapse on it. And you guys can watch this thing come up. Check it out. Now in time lapse, you get to see it grow a lot faster, but it's crazy how it just fills up. And this stuff is as solid as concrete, guys. I ain't kidding you. I've used it a bunch of times now, and I have had some really, really positive results of it. It's a little more than concrete, but I don't have to sit there and mix up concrete, have water, have a wheelbarrow, have a hoe, pour it into a hole, carry that 80-pound bags of concrete. Nothing like that. Once it sets up, 15 minutes later, I'm cutting this off. It's rock solid. Now we're going to drill the rest of the holes in this bad boy. We're getting close to the end. This is hole number 6 out of 6 here. So watch this as this goes down through. I hit some hard stuff in here. I hit a rock or something, and it finally kicked it out. But watch this when it's getting ready. The clay layer just come right out, and that clay was actually pretty moist. You could mold it with your hand. It's kind of cool. Now this one I really screwed up, guys. I'll be honest with you. The drill bit must have wandered on me a little bit. Somehow I missed my mark. I had it laid out, so I had to go get my post hole digger, and we're oblong in this hole so I can get this post where it belongs. And I finally thought I had it. I'm like, oh, we're getting closer. Put the level on it. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. Nope, we're not looking real good at all. Measured again, like, nope, it's not where it needs to be. Level, nope, got to do some more. Dang it. Let's go ahead and carve some more out. You can see the little pile I'm creating with my oops. So I kept checking it, measured twice, cut 5 times, and put the screw in there. Then realized once I put my crossboard on there, looking at things, I'm like, I got to come the other way toward me. So we ended up with almost like a little L-shaped hole, and it was all done. I don't know what went wrong. I haven't used one of these drills very often, and the other 5 holes came out just fine. So then I tapped that down nice and tight, put some screws in it, checked the board again. Thought I had it. Nope. Do I? Nope. Pull it back out, put it again. take some more out. It's got to be right, guys. I just wanted this thing to come out square and right and good. And a little bit of time here saves me a lot of time and frustration later. And it's got to look good. That post can't be leaning at an angle. Nobody would ever see it. I know it's there, but it's got to be right.
Alrighty, folks, we got another beautiful morning out here. We have been working on building the ground deck for my wife's greenhouse. Here's where we're at so far. Now, granted, I've only been putting in a couple hours here and there, tops. And as you saw, we drilled the holes with that Harbor Freight auger bit with a 6-inch auger bit drill. And that thing's a beast. That thing, it'll drill a hole. We went through some hard layers. It went through some soft stuff. It went through some wet clay. And we got all the posts in the ground. We got them all cut off flush at the top. And I use that Fast 2K. It's here's the bag right here, a bag. Right there. Deck post anchor. IBC and IRC compliant. So no water, no mess. Sets of 1 post per bag, it says. And that is about right. Buy an extra bag if you're doing like 3 posts. Just for funsies. This particular post here got away from me. I marked it, drilled the hole, and ended up oblong in the hole, as you can see here. And I used my post hole diggers to get so I could get the right distance. This wasn't exactly right, but guys, this thing is, that post doesn't wiggle, and it gets that solid after about 10 minutes. So, what's your experience with Fast 2K stuff? On my pallet racking I have on the back of my shop here, I've got posts in the ground. Since it's on dirt and it's not level back here, I put posts in the ground to level it up, and I used that Fast 2K a couple of years ago, and it's just as rock solid then as it is now. So, or now as it was then. That's what I meant to say. But so far so good. What we got left to do, I've got a trailer full of lumber here. We've got 3 stringers, 20-foot stringers I'm going to run this way. I've got them laid out. I got a couple deck hangers. And then once that's in place, we start laying I got the 5/4 deck board. 5/4 by 6, they call it, or it's basically 5 and, let's just say it's 5. It's not 6. It's 5 3/4-ish. We're going to jam these up tight to one another. I'm not going to leave gaps or anything. A lot of this stuff is still fairly wet. And as you guys don't know, or maybe you don't know, when you do this stuff out of wet, it will actually dry and shrink, and there will be gaps. So I always just butt it up tight. And for this application, it's fine. It's going to be fine. So that's where we're at. I got to get busy. The goal today is to get this deck boards down, and then we're going to start building the greenhouse on top of the deck. So at the end of this video, you will see a greenhouse setting on this deck complete, is my goal. And I'm going to try to get the rest of what you see here done today. So I'll kind of give you a rough idea of the hours it takes to do this. And the reason I did it this way, folks, is this is down, dirty, and easy. My land falls away from it, as you can see. This board is level, and then the ground falls away from it, which is fine. Back here, it's okay if this is going to be raised off the ground in the back. It doesn't bother me a bit. We'll probably plant some big old hosta around here, and it'll be kind of like this guy here. In the springtime, when it grows up, it'll hide the gap. It'll give our outdoor cats that keep the mice under control a place to go and hide and feel like they're in a jungle underneath a shelter. Who knows what? But that's the reason I did it. I found the highest corner, which is up in this corner. I planted that first post. Now you guys might be thinking this was a little unorthodox way of doing it. Most people would go, well, I'm just going to plant all of the posts and then I'll put the stringers up. Well, this here, I got to control the level and the squareness by doing it this way, because by planting that first post and then running my board over there and blocking it up so it was level, same way with this stringer here, I could run it back and block it up so it was level, and then mark where I wanted to drill my holes. And then I did I don't know if you guys have ever done this, the 3-4-5 method. If you go 3 feet this way, 4 feet this way. Then if you go from corner to corner, mark that, go from mark to mark, it'll be 5 feet. I went a little further. I did the 6, 8, 10. So I went 8 feet. I went 8 feet this way, 6 feet that way, and marked it 10 feet. I put a little screw right here to hang my tape on. And I went over there to my other mark I had and have 10 feet. That way I knew what I had laid out here initially was square. And because, you know, a square will only go so far, but this measurement, you know, magnifies it, so you just get a better, more accurate square. Then, once I got this post planted and that post planted and locked in place, I went over here and I laid out, not this particular board, but that particular board. And once I laid that one out, you know, hooked it onto this post, I planted that one fourth, that post fourth, locked that in place, and then I laid this board out, screwed it together up there, pulled back here, and then I could go from corner to corner. As you know, if you measure from corner here to corner there and go that corner to this corner, make sure those measurements are the same, you're also very square. So 2 ways of doing square I did. It come out really good. I'm within like 1/8 of an inch squareness on a 10 by 20. That is square enough, believe you me. What I'll do once I get the stringers in, we're gonna lay the boards on it, starting at the front, because I want to overhang the front a little bit, give it a little lip.
Okay, now we're gonna measure and add in the rest of the floor joists, as it were. And measure 3, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, cut a couple times, you know, get it all, you know, don't mess it up. These boards are not cheap. So I got the first one cut to length. I'm gonna get it hanging in there. Went and got my screws. I put a screw at the top of each area there, so once I get it in place, I can actually put the screw in it, get it lined up, and then tap it into place, get it square, boom. And I go in there and put my other 5, 6, 7 screws in the end, up and down. After I get done putting all the screws in the end, I go back and I hang my, let's call them rafter joist. Here I'm using my pry bar and stuff to get it all leveled up. But I hang my rafter joist in there to hold them, or floor joist, what do you want to call it, hangers, get them screwed in place. It might be a little unnecessary for this, but you know, I'd rather have it there and not need it than need it there and not have it. So we get that all nice and squared up, and we screw it in and get all the screws in place, and she's feeling pretty solid. It's looking pretty good. It's starting to actually take shape and look like something that I want to put some floorboards on eventually, hey? So there, I used some 4x4 for my cripples there, and that's only because I had them. They were there. I stood on it there just to see how sturdy that was going to be. I could see the board kind of give a little bit up and down wise, but there again, it's 20 foot long. It's a 2x10, 20 foot long. It's going to have a little, let's call it bounce to it, but coming up soon, I'll be showing you what I'll do to rectify that situation. So here we got our second one going in. Get it upright and square it up. Put some screws in it. We're off to the races. Let's hang the other joist in there, rafter joist in there, floor joist hanger, and screw it in. Plenty of screws. Oops, look over there to the right of the screen, guys. The boss is here. Now I finally got some help. Cool. And it really helps when you have 2 people doing projects like this, because either one's going and getting stuff or helping. In this situation, she's helping put on the rest of the hangers. She's running the screw gun for me while I'm doing other stuff, which really helps out a tremendous amount. It probably shaved a lot of time off of this for me. I bet I saved 3 or 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 or 7 hours, just because I had somebody helping me. Because I don't have to go run and grab stuff. They're taking care of some loose ends, and they can be doing things while I'm doing other things. It just really saves a lot of time. So anytime you can get a buddy to help you, your wife to help you, your spouse, your significant other, do it. Enjoy the time together. And my wife and I, we actually got through this project in one piece, so that felt pretty good. So here I got her putting that screw in, well, because this one here was hanging kind of funny, but we got it in there. Once I got that done, went down and got the other end in shape, then she really goes to town on things, which is really awesome. Now my wife doesn't have a ton of experience with the impact drivers, but by the end of this project, she was a pro. She goes, how come you always make this look so easy? And I'm like, it's just time. It's just, I've put thousands of screws and things. So I said, all you need is a little bit of time and you'll get better in a hurry. And she did. She got a lot better in a hurry. When we started putting the deck boards down, goodness, she did a great job. She kept up with me, dang near kept up with me, which was impressive. So now you can see her. She's sitting there. I'm going to cut more cripples while she's sitting there putting more screws in for me. And I got the cripples cut there. Now I'm just holding boards and letting her drive screws in for me. And I'm just getting the prep work done, and she's putting the screws in, and life is good. I cut one board a little short, so I had to oh shoot, grab the 4x4 and go cut me off another chunk. We'll get the last one in. In a minute here, you'll see what I was talking about. Because I could have planted another board in the ground here, but I didn't think it was absolutely necessary. So what I did is I put up what I'm calling a little bit of extra support. So what I did is I laid a 4x4 on the ground, as you're getting ready to see here, right where she's standing. Put a 4x4 on the ground. I stood on it just to see how much give it had. Pounded it with a sledgehammer. Had her drive some screws into it. So that 4x4 is still on the ground. The screws are in it, locking it in place. And then I went and got my Sawzall. We're just going to cut this off flush right here. And we're back in business, folks. I actually took some time and I stood on it. And it's like, wow, this is really sturdy now. It really blew my mind how sturdy it was. Okay, now we're going to go into hyperspeed. We actually have, I got this sped up by 800 times just because I didn't want you guys to watch me go through putting all these boards down one by one. But there again, I put them in there, put them up against each other tight. It will shrink. There will be a gap eventually. But it turned out pretty well. It went pretty fast. I can't complain. And then once we got all the boards screwed down, I put 2 screws in every board on each end. Then I went and got me a chalk line after I got down to the last board, and we snapped 3 chalk lines to go down to the center of the next 3 rafter joists, so we wouldn't, or floor joists, so we wouldn't miss it. And then boom, 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 boom. We're just going through there. We're screwing like crazy. That didn't sound right. We put a lot of screws in this boards, and we got it all done. It turned out really well.
Alrighty, let's catch you up to where we're at right now. We've opened up the kit. And the kit, well, let's not make no excuses. This is very thin-walled aluminum. It's nothing crazy heavy duty. You know, going into it for something that's less than $700, and for the size it's going to be when it's all done, it's, you know, it is what it is. Now, some of you might be thinking, why would you build a $1,000 deck and stick a $700 thing on it that you know is not going to last? Well, it will last long enough. You know, it's one of those things. We'll see how the greenhouse goes and how much the boss likes the greenhouse and likes to use it, and then we'll work our way forward from there. But at the very least, we got us an awesome deck that we could sit on and do stuff in, put a canopy on, or, you know, if it decides to not be a greenhouse in the future. So we've got this thing. The nice thing, this is designed to have some pieces bolted onto it in the corners here that actually get shoved down into the ground, and then it shows in the picture, it looks like this should have a trench, that this is actually down in the ground as well. Well, I'm probably going to have to come up with these mounting locations it has, like here and here, and in the corners, some little angle brackets, and I'm going to lag it to the deck. That'll be just fine. But so far, the kit, and here again, this is if you guys want to do a project like this. So far, between the deck of $1,000 worth of wood and post and fast 2K anchor stuff, we're into it pretty reasonably right now. I did buy a 25-pound, you know, that box of screws there, 3-inch triple coated deck screws, but I'm always using deck screws for stuff. So I knew that was going to be more than I needed because there's probably close to 1,400, 1,500 screws in there. I only needed about 500 to do this job total, and that's okay. I always have a use for 3-inch deck screws. I'm always putting something together. If I decide to build a couple more of these style benches, I've got deck screws for it. But back to the kit and the kit situation. Everything is very well packaged, clearly marked with stickers as to what everything is. And it comes with bags of screws that are clearly marked. Oh, get a muffler, guy. It's amazing how many people drive by with noisy stuff that they think sounds cool, but it just sounds like garbage. Right here, you can see clearly here that all these are marked. They actually got zoom in areas here, right where my fingers are right there, where you zoom in to show you a detail. So the instructions are actually pretty nice. Step 7 and 8. That's where we're at right now. Step 7 and 8. We're going to put the front frame together. And, well, I'm going to put you guys back on time lapse, probably talk through a little bit of what's going on here. But like I said, this was $569, something like that, and another $100 to ship it to the house off of Amazon. I can't complain so far. It all seems to be going together okay at this point. There's one separate box that is nothing but the clear panels. But we're going to see it take shape. We should wrap this thing up hopefully this afternoon. Let's see how it goes. The nice thing about building it on this deck is I got a nice flat surface. If I was trying to put this in the ground, having a nice flat surface in the ground would be kind of difficult. But I mean, this just makes an awesome platform to put all this together on. And also I got a, you know, as per planned, there again, this is a 10 by 20 deck. This is an 8 by 14 kit for the greenhouse. And as you can see, I'm going to have plenty of space on both sides. I'm going to have a plenty of deck space up front that we could do kind of like we did here. You can put a sitting area in front of it. You could have stuff where you could put potting soil and things before you carry it in the house, and stuff to get it up off, you know, Mother Earth here. All right, let's get back after it. Let's see if we get this thing completed.
All right, as you can see now, I got the baseboards put down, as I said before, and now we're starting to put the uprights in place. And the 4 corner post is what we put in first. We're following the instructions letter of the law, basically. And it's turned out really, really good so far. It's I'm pretty happy with everything. Now, like I said, this is an expensive kit. This is a mediocre kit, I would call it, but I think it's going to work out pretty well and last a few years easily. For the investment we have into it. And one thing I will tell you here is I learned right here, what you're seeing is you got to peel both sides of the stuff off to get, you know, so it's clear. And then you'll figure out that all the stripes run up and down and not horizontally. I'm not sure in this picture if it's detailed enough. You can see the lines in the clear stuff, the polycarbonate, whatever that stuff is, but the lines need to be vertical and not horizontal. And I'm learning that now. I'm looking at this post. I'm like, this is supposed to go in between there. And that's what I learned. Oh, it goes this way. And now we put this piece in. And then we can lock it in place. So we got a little screw there, a little locking piece. It's a mechanism that you turn like a quarter of a turn or 3/4 of a turn. And it kind of wedges and locks itself in place like you see on some of this, let's call it prefab furniture stuff that you put together on your own at home. So that part is kind of nice. It's not really something that you put together and take apart multiple times. It's a once, maybe twice, you get a shot at it, and then you better have it right. So here we're putting up the front wall, and this front wall has the doorway in it, obviously. And we're slowly getting these pieces in there one by one. And I'm actually looking at the work instructions, barking out numbers. He's bringing me numbers. I'm figuring out how it goes in place, and then we keep going and going and going. There again, there's a little ciphering that has to go on. There's some pieces. It's like figuring out, make sure we're putting it together right. Look at the pictures again every now and then. Put a few screws in, and just keep motoring along. There again, she's getting parts ahead of me. I'm telling her what my next parts I need are, and we're putting those in place. We're about ready to get this front part done. And this is one of those situations, folks, that if you were to put one of these together, let's say a week from now, you could put it together twice as fast, just knowing what we know. Now, the deck part of it, I could probably shave off an hour or two just because of some of the things I ran into, and there's a few things I'd probably do a little different. But overall, I mean, look at it. We're working off a deck. We're working off a hard, flat surface. We're not working off the ground. And so this frame that's pretty flimsy stands a pretty good chance to go in together pretty square and pretty smooth all together. So look at that, peak piece. We got one more brace to go up, and then it's like, oh, we'll move on to the next side maybe. I'm trying to remember what I did next, but I'm pretty sure we did the back panel. The back panel is just almost identical to the front panel, except it doesn't have a doorway in it. So that makes this one just a lot different, obviously. There we are, partway through the back panel. As you can see, no door. Looks pretty much like the other one, except the middle piece there, the upper middle piece, is one piece instead of a little tiny piece at the top. Once we get this part together, now it's starting to take shape. I mean, it already starts to look like the profile of a building, obviously. But now we're going to start working on the rafters, or whatever you call it, the peak piece. I'm looking at the instruction going, what's next? It looks like the peak piece is next. So we'll go ahead and start putting that together. There again, it's in a couple pieces as well. Put some bolts together, some screws together. And these little flaps right here, you got to put them on before you assemble it across the top, because you can't get them on once it's in place. And this has like a little stopper I'll show you later on in the video. And it has two, these are the roof vents that we're putting in there right now. And it took me a minute to figure out what groove they go in and how things fit together. But once you get it, you get it. It makes sense. Just look at the pictures, take your time. Don't get in a big hurry, because you know me, I don't like rework, and I like to do it once and be done with it. So there's, you can see those easily slide up and down. They got a couple of stops that we'll put in later on that are in there right now, and we'll tighten them up. Now we're putting one piece over here on the far side, then we're putting together the second one, and it'll go up in place. And then we got basically the framework just about complete, which is pretty awesome. Next thing will be the sliding in a lot of panels, a lot of vertical pieces. That'll be coming up next. But so far, I'm pretty happy with this progress. It's looking good. It's starting to look like something. All right, back to this other guy talking to you and moving the camera around.
All righty, folks, it's the next morning. This is how far we got. It's not looking too bad. Honestly thought that we were gonna get a little bit of rain last night, and I thought that the wind might kick up a little bit, so I strapped it down, because this thing is not heavy. It's not heavy at all until it gets anchored down. I'm going to put some angle brackets down there and fasten it to the actual deck itself, so that at least it'll be as strong as the angle brackets, if nothing else. But I wanted to show you some key features here as I've been putting this together, to kind of keep your eye open for. This doorway right now, for this particular one, this for reference, I'm 6'1". And I'm looking straight into the camera. This is where it's at. Now for my wife, the boss, she fits in here just fine. Doorway is 2 feet wide. So if you got any carts or anything you want to bring in here, bring it in here before you finish it, because you can sneak it in here a little quicker, park it in the corner that you're not working on, that you've got done, and then go forward from there. Now, I wasn't supposed to put the roof section on yet, but last night I got a little antsy and I wanted to see how it went together. Now, I will tell you that these will cut you. I have a cut right here and another one here from where I ran into it. In low light conditions, and this wasn't what I would call extreme low light conditions, I forgot they were there and I hit my dang head on it. And it's not like this thing is crazy tall. In here, the peak piece has a channel, and it has this piece right here that, well, you know, you can slide it back and forth like this. And it has these little plastic doohickeys that'll go in place that you slide, and I'll lock them in. That'll keep this thing from sliding back and forth. There's a latch that goes on right here that when this is on, follows the roof line, follows the roof line, then you can lift it up, let it vent and whatnot. There are some corner braces that are here that you put this all together, then you have to back these 3 out and put, according to the instructions then, and put these 2 back in, but this takes then a longer screw, and then it takes like a little sheet metal screw in the corner here. But, and the other thing that stumped me, and I'll be honest with you, it stumped me for a little bit, is these panels, I was thinking, went down and fit up underneath the groove here, but they do not. They just sit on the outside here. Same way with this one here, it doesn't fit in a groove, it just rests on the side. And then these have if you guys have ever put together a piece of IKEA furniture or solder or any of that prefab stuff, it's got a little locking mechanism here that fits in the channel right there, and then you just give it like a 3/4 turn and it locks this piece in place. And honestly, this thing feels pretty flimsy right now, but because this is all, you know, it's thin-walled stuff. It's nothing heavy duty here. But once you start putting it together and getting all the gussets in place, Now granted, you can hear these things. In a rainstorm, this would be loud. But by design, it gets stronger as you put it together. And it seems pretty, like it's gonna be pretty watertight. I mean, there again, it's a greenhouse. It doesn't have to be completely watertight. You're gonna be watering in here, and you're gonna have water in here. That's why we use treated lumber on the deck here. We'll actually water seal it eventually, and that way it'll, slow the rot down. In this area here, we've got this piece goes in place. This can actually lift off if you want to, but the door will be in here, and it's got a little latch here, and the door has a handle and all that stuff. Now, all the parts, like I said before, are clearly marked when it comes to all the identifiers as to what they are. And so far, everything on this particular kit, for the price, I was impressed. And I shouldn't say for the price. I'm impressed at how well it fits, because even more expensive stuff doesn't fit together as well as this has so far. Everything following the instructions here, letters and whatnot. We're doing the roof panels and side panels right now, and that's going together pretty well. Some of this stuff, this here is pretty, let's say it's fragile, typically, but it's your typical panels. I've got the same sort of thing in bigger sheets on the old greenhouse that's over there. But it's actually, I can't complain. So I wanted to show you a few of those key features. As you can see here, there's a joint in the middle here on this brace here. As you can see, the same thing over on this side. And that's because they sell these in this is an 8x10, no, 8x12. An 8x10, they would just take and sell it without this 2-foot section here, and probably one less panel here, one less panel here. It's universal, because I think this also comes in a 10x12 as well. And we could have went 10x12. But for the $100 and some difference for 8 square feet, now the 10x12 I think would be just a wee bit taller. Now I can walk in the peak of this, as you can see here. There's probably, this is supposed to be, I think, 7 feet, and it might be 7 feet clear to the peak. I got a 7-foot checker here. We've got this sitting right on the ground, or on the deck, and let's just see what we got. So it said it was 7 feet tall. Whoops. And let's just be honest, folks. It's 6'8". I'll have to go back and look at it, but I think it said 7 feet, but it's actually 6'8" at the peak, at the top, on the outside. Now, for the most general purposes, if I'm standing right here with my plants here, I'm within 2 feet of the wall here, and my head just starts to hit this particular rafter. Now, my wife, she's 5-6 inches shorter. She's going to fit in here just perfect and be able to do whatever she wants to do in here. But like I said, if you're going to have a rack in here, you got to have something that fits through that door, or you're going to assemble it inside the building if it's already assembled outside the building. So, all right, we're going to drag everything out. I had put all the cardboard boxes away to keep things dry, because there again, I thought it was going to rain overnight, and it did not. If it sprinkled, that's be about all it did. But no, I'm pretty tickled with this so far. Like I told my wife, I said I'll probably never put another one together again, but of course, I know me. It's like birthing pains, I think. That's why people have more than one kid, because they forget, the pain you went through having the first kid, and then you have another one. So I think it's a lot like that with me, with stuff like this. It's like, oh yeah, I'll do that again. That wasn't that bad. I forget about, the pain points that I get from certain things. Alrighty, I'm gonna put you back on time lapse. Guys, let me know if you enjoy something like this. Now, this project is, for the person in your life that loves to do gardening and stuff like this, this is a neat project. Plus, you can have out here, I'm gonna have a 6-foot by 10-foot deck out here. That's bigger than most apartment decks even have. But this, like I said, this is a place where you can put, like we did over here, you can put some chairs, plants, pots. You can do whatever you want out here. And this thing also has, and once I get it together, I'll show that to you. This has a gutter system on it as well. So it can actually collect rainwater. So we might get us a couple of barrels or something. I might actually extend this deck out over here maybe a little bit Or maybe the rain barrel goes right here on the front corner. Decorative rain barrel, and we'll catch rain, and then she could pump fresh rainwater in to water the plants. Hey Mercury, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? You ready to throw frisbee? All right, we're gonna go throw frisbee with the dog for a minute here, and then we're gonna get right back out here and finish this thing up here in the next hour or two. So enjoy the time lapse. I enjoy time lapse because you get to see rapid progress, and you guys don't have to go through the hours of slow progress that I'm going through. All right, I'll get you on this side for the time lapse, and then as we go to do the other side, it's going to be more pieces on the roof because of the vents for the roof there. But so far it's turning out pretty good. I can't complain. We'll step back and take a quick look here, and I think it's going to be pretty cool looking. And it's, you know, let's call it additive decorative stuff to the property that is different than my boats and my backhoe and other stuff like that. That's trailers that are decorating my current backyard property. Can't complain too much, right? Right.
Alrighty, we're down here in the home stretch now. It's looking pretty good. We're pretty happy with things. The panels that they drop in pretty easy. Now, what I will offer up a suggestion on these verticals that you're putting in, I would put them all in loose till you get all the way across and then tighten them down. I found that on the second side, it went much smoother than it did on the first side because I was tightening them down as I went. So once you put them all in, you can always go back and snug them all up, and everything just fit. The panels dropped in so much easier, less binding, less fighting it, and all that kind of fun stuff. So I was pretty darn tickled how it went together once I discovered that. Lessons learned.
Alrighty folks, it's done. There it is. All right, here it is, guys and gals. This is my $2,000 project. Okay, it's not quite $2,000. There's $1,000 in the deck and about $750. So let's call it $1,750 project here. Not too bad. I mean, it has its frustrations just like any cheesy, lightweight stuff you put together. But I'll tell you what, once you get the bracing in here, let's go on a tour on the inside. We'll show you the living room, the kitchen, the dining room area. Nope. I gotta still put a couple of my tools away. But you install these braces here, and all these angle braces inside here, and the corner braces. This is that last thing you do. Then you got this little window dealy here. You can close it up. It's warm in here right now. And you could lock it up like that. It's got holes here, so you could probably stick something through it that I didn't get. So we'll leave it open for now. But you got all these little metal corner braces to go with your aluminum stuff. But it's not, I mean, it's kind of neat looking. I gotta be honest. It's kind of fun. It's got two roof vents, as you can see, to let the heat out, because you're gonna get those hot days. I do have brackets down here that came with it. And one there, and these are where the joints go together. So I anchored it where the joints are. That's its weakest spot, so let's just anchor it there. And I ain't kidding you. Before I could just slide this thing around, just barely bump it and slide around. Now she's locked down. I'm not gonna worry about the wind carrying it away. Little door. Has this little latch there. My wife's already put a plant on the deck here. And the other neat kind of feature, this thing has a little rain gutter that comes with it, with little downspouts like this that you can put a hose onto it, run it into a barrel. We might set a barrel off here to the side, a bigger barrel, catch her rainwater. She could fill up her watering can and water the plants inside. But this is what it looks like. We're gonna give it a complete walk around. Another downspout on this end. I got another little elbow I can put on here. And there's gutters all the way around. There's gutters on both sides. So you can catch all the rainwater that this thing has to offer. Now, back to some of the specifics here. The deck, 10 foot by 20 foot. What do we have here to create it? Now, you guys saw in the video how the deck was created. But if you want a list of materials, I'm getting ready to verbalize it to you right now. Pretty simple. These are 5/4 corner round deck boards. 5/4 by 6 at Menards. Other lumber stores might have something else. It took 42 of them. to cover it. I have 5, count them, 5 20-foot 2x10s. I have 2 2x10s 10 feet long. I had a bucket of screws, probably takes you about 500 screws to give you an idea. I put 2 screws, and there again I snapped the chalk line here so I can keep my screws nice and straight here. And I ended up using a total of, depending on what you're doing, I used a total of, I got 2 4x4s left over. Is there 2 or just 1? 1. I have 1 4x4 8-foot long left that I used for this. I bought 8. I used 7. I ended up using some of the chopped off pieces as my cripples between the joist, the floor joist. And then what I did in the middle is I took a 4x4, laid it on the ground, put another one on top. I didn't throw this one into the ground. I just beat on it with the sledgehammer, screwed it to the side of the center floor joist, screwed it in, cut it off flush. The floor would have had a little bit of bounce to it when you walked on it, but not enough to worry about, to be honest with you. So all in all, you know, this kit, for the money, I give it a 7 out of 10 so far. Time will tell if it gets a better rating than that or not, but you know, there again, it comes with all the tools you need to put it together. A little Phillips screwdriver, corner Phillips screwdriver, and an Allen wrench, and a little tiny wrench. And you can do it all with those wrenches. Be patient. I found it better off just to grab your own wrench, your own screwdriver, your own nut driver, or whatever you need, and you'll make yourself a lot happier, and you'll drive yourself less crazy. But so far, I can't complain about this at all. This looks good. This has a nice curb appeal. It's not quite as fancy as this one, but it is more greenhouse than this one as far as, let's just say, transparency throughout, because this one over here has a metal roof on it and a French door. So my wife's plans for this, my understanding is what she wants to do is use this other one, the old one, as her potting shed, and this will be her true growing shed. She can put her house plants out here, get them rehabilitated, some that have suffered from maybe not getting enough sunlight, burn them up in here and then bring them back inside later. But right now I can call this project, let's DUN done. I got a couple of screws I need to put in here that I came up a couple screws short. That's okay. I'll be at the Hardmore store and we'll get more screws, but can't be mad at that. Now, some of the specifics about it. This is an 8x14 and it is supposed to be a 7-foot high, as we talked earlier, not quite 7 foot high. It says it could maintain temperatures 50 to 60 degrees hotter than the outside temperature. Now in the middle of the summer, that's not a plus. But in your springtime, when you're trying to propagate seeds or germinate seeds, that'd be a good thing to have. It'll drive that temperature in that building right on up there. Oh, snow load. This is rated for 20 pounds per square foot snow load on this roof. That's it. And it doesn't take a lot of snow to equal 20 pounds per square foot. But the nice thing is it's small enough that if I have to, I can come out here with just a regular push broom and we'll just, you know, keep it cleaned off in the winter if need be. Last few winters, wouldn't really have to worry about it because we really haven't had a significant amount of snow. So any questions or comments, put them down below. There'll be links below in the description for this particular greenhouse if you want to do the same thing or something similar to it. There'll be an Amazon link. If you use that link and you end up buying one of these, I appreciate it because I'll get about 3% kickback on that. Costs you no more, but I get money, a commission as it were, for just sending you guys to the website. And if you buy other stuff from after clicking on the link, I get commission for that too. And I appreciate any help like that because these projects aren't cheap. You know, I'm not to the level of YouTubeism as some of these guys are that are just rolling in it. Nope. I am barely breaking even. Nope, not even. I spend more on YouTube than YouTube pays me. This just makes some of my hobbies and projects a little more affordable. That's what it does. And I appreciate anybody that's helping me out there. Alrighty. Like I said, comments, questions, leave them below or leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, if you like this kind of stuff. Or, there again, this is Michael in the Backyard. I just touch and do a little bit of everything. I'm not a master carpenter. I'm not a master mechanic. I'm not a master boat repair. I'm not a master at anything. But let's just say I have a lot of stuff rolling around this old noggin of mine. And yeah, wow, it's done. I can move on to lunch today. I'm gonna eat lunch. I'm hungry. But time, how much time would it take you to do this? Well, if I have everything on hand, and I did, you know, had the drill on hand, I had wood on hand, had everything here, I think start to finish on this project, you could do it in about 18 to 20 hours. That includes the deck. Nice thing about that Fast 2K, it doesn't stop you from just keep on creating or keep on going. You put that Fast 2K, set your post, keep going, keep building. You're on your way. But yep, I was a little worried last night, like I said before, that the wind might take this away because it was not anchored. Now, we'll see what kind of winds it can withstand. We've been having some pretty windy days lately. All right, that's enough rambling by me, folks. Hey, if you've hung out this long and you've been a long-time subscriber, I do appreciate you folks very much. I can't give you enough thank yous, honestly. And hopefully I'll see you on the next video. If I'm lucky, you guys be kind to one another. And remember, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. And I'll see you on the next video. I'm out.